Dublin is a popular tourist destination attracting millions of tourists each year. While this number depends on the economical condition and global events, Dublin roughly receives about 8 to 9 million tourists each year. Because Dublin is such a popular tourist destination and because it is slightly expensive in comparison to other European cities, in this video I'm going to tell you 6 ways in which tourists end up wasting their money and how you can save them and use it in doing something more useful and enjoyable. So come, let's go! If you want to save some money, then the first thing you have to do is not take taxi to every place that you want to go. A few of my friends visited Ireland last month and they ended up taking taxi to every place they wanted to go, just because they were super nervous to take Dublin's public transport and also because that is something they were used to doing in their home country. You can do that, but let me tell you that taxis are not considered a very affordable option here in Dublin, and you will easily end up spending a lot of money if you take them to every place that you want to go. I mean, I'm not saying never to take taxis. I take them myself, especially when I have to come back home from the airport during midnight or if I'm not feeling well. It's just that don't take them to every place you want to go, especially to the places that are easily reachable by using public transport. I also know people who have hired taxi to see places in and around Dublin like Cliff of Moher, and that is the last thing I will recommend you to do in case you're looking for a budget-friendly option. Instead of hiring a taxi, you can opt for day trips that take you around Dublin at a much cheaper cost. They also provide you with live commentary, which is super enjoyable. In order to help you out and make you realize how easy it is to use Dublin's public transport, I have made a dedicated video on this that shows you all the modes of public transport, how you can use them and how you can pay for them. So don't forget to check the link in the description below. If you're going to be relying on the public transport to get around Dublin, then you can make payment in 2 ways. The first way is by buying tickets for every trip, and the second way is to use special travel cards known as the Leap card. If you're going to go for the first option, which is to buy tickets for every trip, then know that you will easily end up spending more than using a Leap card. Leap card is like any other card that lets you make contactless payment. Just to know that Dublin public transport is not enabled to use contactless payment methods like Apple Pay or Google Pay, or you cannot use your bank cards directly on the card reader machine to make payment for Dublin's public transport. So don't forget to check the benefits of Leap card in the video that I've linked in the description. If you're here in Dublin for a short period and you mainly want to travel within Dublin by using the public transport, then you can save a lot more by using the travel pass called as the Visitor Leap card than using a regular Leap card. You can buy Visitor Leap card for a period of 1 day, 3 day or 7 day. Visitor Leap cards are more economical than using a regular Leap card. This is because if you add up the daily capping limit of a regular Leap card and then compare it with the price of a 3-day or a 7-day visitor Leap card, then there is a considerable difference. If you're still confused on which Leap card to opt for when you're here, then don't worry. I have made a dedicated video on this that would explain you all the pros and cons of using both of these Leap cards. So don't forget to check out my video in the description below. Want to keep ourselves hydrated, especially when we are traveling outside, and we easily end up buying a lot of water bottles unknowingly. That adds up to our total travel cost. In my opinion, bottled water in Dublin is pretty expensive, especially when you're buying them from a touristy location. Then know that you're not going to get them off a good deal. So instead of buying bottled water, simply get a reusable water bottle with you. They are not only good for the environment but would also help you to save some money while you're here traveling in Dublin. Now you must be wondering where you can refill them when the bottle empties out. So there are drinking water fountains all around Dublin where you can refill your water bottle from. However, if you're nowhere near these drinking water fountains, then don't worry. Simply walk into any pub or restaurant and request them to refill your water bottle with tap water. They'll do it for you for free because pubs and restaurants are only allowed to sell bottled water. And moreover, they are obliged to do so by law. In my experience, most people do it anyway out of courtesy. For a small city like Dublin, tour buses are way too expensive for what they can show you. They'll cost you about 32 euros, which is about 4 times more than that of buying a single day visitor leap card that lets you travel free all across Dublin. Another thing about these buses is that they take longer routes to cover all the places, so you might actually end up spending a lot of time to get to your destination. If you enjoy live commentary, consider taking walking tours instead. That would be better use of your money and time. You can do a lot of things when you're here in Dublin. You can either visit the museums or the Book of Kells in Trinity College, or you can visit the Guinness Storehouse. Most of these tourist places usually have an entry fee, and if you are one of those people who would like to hit them all, then consider buying all-inclusive or Explorer Pass. With all-inclusive pass, you can visit any travel destination in Dublin for a discounted price. You can buy these passes for a given duration, but before you go ahead and purchase these tickets, make sure that you have checked the individual entry price of every destination that you plan on visiting. This is because not all travel destinations are expensive. Some of them would cost you as low as 8 to 10 euros. So if you don't check the individual price of every travel destination that you want to visit, then you might easily end up overpaying for these passes. So before buying these tickets, make sure you're saving some money out of them. So that's it. I hope these tips will help you save some of your hard-earned money and use it somewhere else instead when you're here in Dublin in doing something more useful and enjoyable. If these tips helped you to save some money when you're here in Dublin, then don't forget to let me know in the comments below. If you have thought this video was useful, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and a thumbs up. Your support would mean the world to me because I'm a budding YouTuber. I have made a couple of videos about Dublin's tourism and public transport, so feel free to check any one of them out. Until next time, have a great Dublin adventure.